Jim uses irony as armor and distance as defense. The camera look serves as a way to say, I'm not really here, while sitting at that desk 40 hours a week. He's completely isolated. He talks to Pam, and that's the entire list. Ryan's a colleague. Dwight's a pint target. Michael's something to endure. Jim Halpert is alone in a room full of people. And the only time genuine joy crosses his face is when Pam laughs. Season 1, Jim lives in resignation, not rebellion. It is a full retreat. He uses irony as survival and the camera look as his only connection. That conspiratorial glance that says, you're seeing this too, right? That's what keeps him tethered to reality in a place that makes no sense. And that connection is the only reason this show works. Jim Halpert is the anchor. Without him, the office is just a room full of annoying people. But because Jim is there, rolling his eyes with us, he makes the chaos feel safe. He didn't just ground the show, he is the reason we stuck around long enough to fall in love with it. Now let me show you exactly what I mean. Let's look at the highest rated episode from each of the first 3 seasons. After watching this season again, I remember exactly why Michael was so annoying. Throughout the episode, Jim looks completely disinterested in everything. But notice the first moment, he seems genuinely happy. It happens on the basketball court. This whole episode revolves around Jim's need to impress Pam. At this point, Pam's been with Roy for years. She's engaged. Jim doesn't consider anyone in the office a friend except her, living like a loner in a job he hates. Michael organizes this basketball game.
Okay, let's do it. That was a good game, man.
Yeah.
Office versus warehouse. Losers work Saturday. Michael's convinced he's athletic royalty despite being terrible at everything.
I might just be a basketball machine.
But the moment Jim steps on that court, everything changes. On the first possession, Jim catches the pass, surveys the floor, and immediately makes the right read. A bounce pass to a cutting teammate for an easy layup. No hesitation, no showboating, just pure court vision. This isn't just office guy who plays pickup. This is someone who genuinely understands the game. Jim has coordination, court vision, and decision-making under pressure. Talents that could take him anywhere, yet he's rotting at a desk selling paper. He's good at basketball. He's good at sales when he tries. He's good at everything except the one thing that matters, telling Pam how he feels. Then Roy elbows him in the face. It's real blood, an actual injury John Krasinski sustained during filming. You can see the impact and the pain crossing his face, and Jim's response? Nothing. He keeps playing and scoring. He doesn't even acknowledge it happened. Meanwhile, Michael is cheating constantly. Travels, double dribbles, calls fouls that don't exist. When the office team is ahead, he just stops the game midway, claiming victory through pure delusion. Jim plays fair, he plays well, and he loses anyway. His reactions to all of this become crucial, specifically those camera looks, the quiet resignation, and the subtle head shakes. They tell us exactly how absurd Michael's behavior is. Without someone competent being defeated by incompetence, Michael's just insufferable. But with Jim losing despite playing better, that's when Michael transforms into comedy. That's when the absurdity registers as absurdity rather than just reality. Those reactions transform the camera from a passive recording device into something else entirely. An active conspirator, a coalition of sanity formed between Jim, the viewer, and the lens itself. When Jim looks at the camera, he's saying, "You're seeing this too, right? I'm not crazy." That look validates us. It tells us how to feel and measures the severity of Michael's violations. That's what an anchor does. It doesn't just ground the ship, it gives everyone else permission to float. Michael can be absurd because Jim is normal. Dwight can be unhinged because Jim reacts with sanity. The show can spiral into chaos because Jim keeps us tethered to reality. An anchor doesn't move the plot. An anchor prevents disaster. In season 1, Jim, he's the perfect anchor. Static, observant, measuring every insane moment against his own deadpan normalcy. But here's the question the show has to answer. What happens when the anchor starts to drift? Season 1, Jim is trapped. By circumstances, sure, but mostly by himself, by the defenses he's built, by the safety of not risking anything real. And after this episode, after I watched him spin that basketball alone in the parking lot, talented, capable, yet completely isolated, I realized something. Jim needs to change, or this show dies with him stuck in place. And it almost did.
Real quick, if you're enjoying this deep dive into The Office and want to see more video essays, hitting subscribe really helps the channel grow. Okay, back to 2005.
After season 1, the show was nearly canceled. The ratings were abysmal, but 2 things saved it. First, The business miracle. Steve Carell became a movie star overnight with The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Second, the creative hook. Executives saw the heart in the Jim and Pam dynamic. They realized Jim wasn't just a critic. He was the emotional engine that kept viewers addicted. The show got renewed, barely, and everything changed because of it. The show found its identity. Michael softened. Dwight became lovable. But the biggest transformation? Jim stopped just anchoring. He started living. Season 2, Jim is different. He's still in the same job, still in love with an engaged Pam, but the shift is visible in his body language. He leans into conversations now instead of away from them.
I'm here! I'm here!
The pranks on Dwight become more elaborate, not crueler, but more creative. He's investing energy where he used to conserve it. Michael's finding his rhythm too, transforming from uncomfortable to genuinely funny.
They say no.
Dwight's becoming lovable instead of just bizarre.
I'm a Sith Lord.
I realized something watching back. It takes time to connect with sitcom characters. Once that connection forms, everything automatically becomes funnier. Michael eventually became my favorite character. But even when Michael became the favorite, Jim remained the reason I was there in the first place. When Michael was annoying, Jim was the anchor. He's accepted these people as something approaching friends. The show found its identity, and Jim found a way to enjoy the chaos instead of just enduring it. But acceptance makes everything worse, because now he knows exactly what he's losing. He's requested a transfer to Stanford. He is planning his escape. Not even Pam knows. The decision is made, but not settled. He can't stay because watching Pam marry Roy would destroy him. The acceptance makes the departure necessary. For an entire season, Jim's been the anchor holding this show together, measuring the chaos, validating our reactions, making Michael bearable by being the opposite of Michael.
You unzip your pants, you find that there's a calculator down there.
But what happens when the anchor decides to leave? Casino night is when we find out. Season 2 is when the US office stopped copying the UK version and found its own footing. The difference hits you immediately in the first scene. Jim convinces Dwight he has telepathic powers with Pam's help. Dwight actually believes it. From those first few seconds, the difference is clear. Jim isn't sad or upset to be there like in the previous season. He looks genuinely happier. He's smiling at things beyond just Pam now. He seems like a normal, everyday guy just observing these people and reacting. Jim and Pam are genuinely good friends now. The previous season felt like they talked because there was no one else. Here, they're actually close. While in season 1, they were the thing that made me watch the show. By season 2, Dwight and Michael have found their characters, and I'm enjoying them too. But in a show with unrealistic, wacky characters, these two are still the only people who feel real. Their relationship feels real. Even though Jim's friends with Pam in season 2, he's still not close with anyone else. You see it clearly in the scene with Ryan. They still treat each other like colleagues, not friends. Then Jim steps outside and runs into Jan, and suddenly the mask drops completely. Jim is actually sad seeing Pam and Roy together inside. He just wanted to get out. When he's outside, he looks genuinely sad, the complete opposite of what he portrays to people and to Pam inside. When Jan asks about the Stanford transfer confirmation, Jim says yes, but he's still struggling with it in his mind. The decision is made, but not settled. He's finally accepted these people. The chemistry with Pam has deepened into real friendship. Michael's antics are now funny instead of unbearable. Dwight's weirdness is entertaining instead of grating. He's gotten settled, he found his rhythm, he made this place tolerable, but he can't stay. Watching Pam marry Roy would destroy him. The acceptance makes departure necessary. Then we get to the parking lot. It's dark, it's quiet, and it's just the two of them. No Michael, no Dwight, no comedy. The scene strips everything away. There is no music. The camera is far back. Maintain the documentary eye, but removing all the mock from mockumentary. It is just two people and the truth between them. Jim says it directly.
I'm in love with you.
I'm in love with you. Not, I like you. Not, we could try. Not, I have feelings. It is the absolute statement. No room for misinterpretation. No irony shield. This burns every bridge back to friendship. Pam replies, I can't. Not, I don't love you. Not, I don't feel the same. Just, I can't. Trapped by circumstance, by engagement, by fear. To Jim, it lands as rejection anyway. When she rejects him, Notice that Jim doesn't look at the camera. He doesn't do the face, the thing he's done hundreds of times throughout the series, that connection to us, the audience. He doesn't reach for it. He looks down instead. He starts crying. This isn't performance for the documentary crew. This is him breaking in real time. Up until now, Jim's been the person who makes everything else bearable. His reactions translate the uncomfortable into comedy. His presence gives us someone to root for while we tolerate Michael and Dwight's antics. He's been our guide through the madness. But the parking lot scene asks something different. It asks us to feel his pain without the buffer of humor. No punchline follows. No winking acknowledgement that this is just a sitcom. Don't worry. If Jim had made a joke after the rejection, thrown up that irony shield one more time, the show stays safely in sitcom territory. By showing real devastation, the show changes its contract with us. It transforms from a workplace comedy with a will they won't they subplot into a story about real people where your emotional investment has real consequences. Till now, this was the most emotional moment of the show, and it came from the only two people who were normal, who gave us a reason to connect to the show in the first place. For 2 seasons, I watched them dance around this. The show validated that investment and proved it mattered. The episode doesn't end there. Jim finds Pam inside. The office is dark. He kisses her, she kisses back, then it cuts to black. Jim tried. He dropped the shield of irony, he made himself vulnerable, and he lost everything. So he takes the transfer, he leaves Scranton, he starts dating Taryn in Stamford. Season 2, Jim went from acceptance to vulnerability, to failure, and finally to flight. When Jim transforms, the entire show transforms with him. Season 1 was a sitcom held together by his reactions. Season 2 became a drama because he stopped reacting and started acting. The anchor evolved, and the show survived because of it, but flight brought him exactly what he was running from. Season 3 starts with Jim in Stamford, different office, different people, different woman, Karen.
He's always looking at the camera like this.
Not Pam. He's trying to rebuild with a new job, a new relationship, and a new identity as the guy who moved on. But you can tell something's wrong. Jim's still funny, he is still charming, but there's a hollowness to it. It's like he's performing a role rather than living a life. Then he comes back to Scranton. The merger forces him back into the place he ran from.
We'll show you where all the slaves work. Not so.
Back to seeing Pam every day, back to pretending he's fine when he's not. But something's different now. Jim's not hiding anymore. He's trying to move forward with Karen, with his life. But the pull of Scranton, of Pam, of everything he left behind keeps dragging him back. Season 3, Jim is caught. He is stuck between who he was and who he's trying to be. Between Stanford and Scranton, between Taryn and Pam. An anchor can't serve 2 ships. So the season finale forces him to choose which harbor is home. The stakes are simple. Corporate has an opening, Jan's position in New York, Michael's interviewing, Jim's interviewing, Karen's interviewing. If Jim gets it, Karen has to follow or they break up. If Karen gets it, Jim has to follow or they break up. No waiting, no figuring it out later. The interview is a ticking bomb, a countdown. Jim can't wait it out anymore. It is time to choose. Jim enters the office with a new haircut for the interview. He looks professional and corporate ready. But from the first frame, you can tell his mind isn't on the job. He's distracted, conflicted, still processing Pam's confession from the previous episode, that she called off the wedding, that she meant what she said on the beach, that maybe they still have a chance. Unlike previous seasons, Jim interacts with the office now as friends, not just colleagues. He's been settled in, becoming part of the ecosystem. Kevin makes jokes with him, Stanley acknowledges him, even Angela doesn't actively hate him. After Pam's confession, things are going back to normal between them for the first time since season 2. The ease is returning, that conspiratorial rhythm they had, but Karen's there, watching. She is jealous of what she can see, but can't compete with. Jim's stuck between what he thought he wanted, Karen, the corporate job, the fresh start, and what he actually wants, Pam. Jim and Karen go to New York. They walk the city, go to dinner, see shows. From the outside, Jim looks like he's enjoying it, smiling, engaged. But he's somewhere else the whole time. His body's in New York, but his mind's back in Scranton. Then comes the interview. David Wallace sits across from Jim, professional, assessing. He asks the standard questions. Jim gives the standard answers. Then David asks what Jim liked about the Scranton branch.
What have you liked most about that place?
A yogurt lig, spray-painted gold. It is from Office Olympics. Season 2, a day when he and Pam created their own absurd workplace games to survive Michael's absence. The day Jim felt less alone. The day he won a gold medal for closing a sale while doing a standing long jump. Pam kept it. She put it in his folder with a note. The text of the note isn't read aloud. Jim reads it, and you can see the moment it lands, the shift in his face, the walls coming down. This is the totem. Every inside joke, every prank, every moment of connection over 3 years, it is physical proof of the emotional ecosystem they created together, not just a romantic gesture, evidence of the friendship that made Scranton feel like home. Jim looks at the yogurt lid, then at David Wallace, and the person who was a loner in season 1, who never liked the place, who felt completely out of place, who only had colleagues when we started. He says,
The friendships.
that's the turn. Jim has finally accepted everything, not just the people, himself, his place in this world, what actually matters to him. He remembers the conversation with Pam after her confession. He told her that even though he's physically back in Scranton, it didn't feel the same anymore. Because it was their relationship, their friendship, their connection, their shared understanding of this absurd place that made Scranton feel like home. Not the job, not the sales, not even Pam alone. The whole ecosystem they built together. The interview ends, he just leaves. He drives back to Scranton alone, withdraws his name from consideration. Back at the office, Pam's trying to figure out what her life looks like without Jim. She's doing the talking head, trying to convince herself she'll be fine, that she made her choice and now she has to live with it. Then Jim walks in. He interrupts her interview. The camera keeps rolling. Are you free for dinner tonight? Pam, forgetting the question entirely. Yes. Then it's a date. The documentary format breaks. The cameraman zooms in on Pam's face. Her smile, her flush, her joy, treating her reaction as the primary subject instead of Jim's declaration. For once, the camera's watching someone watch Jim instead of watching Jim watch everyone else. With that choice, the anchor comes full circle.
If you want to see another breakdown of great character writing, click this video on Stranger Things right here. See you there. Drop a like if you enjoyed the analysis, and subscribe for more.